I, along with the female protagonist, found ourselves ensnared by kidnappers, who demanded that we make a choice. Both my childhood friend and my brother opted to rescue the female lead. The kidnapper, observing my plight, offered to grant me one wish before my demise. Before I could utter a word, a line of text appeared above my head. Bind those two men and compel the female lead to choose. The kidnapper responded with a nonchalant 6. I had been transported into the pages of a novel, becoming the timid and ill-fated supporting character. Song Li, who was kidnapped alongside the female lead, Sheng Lanlan. Sheng Lanlan accused me of being a harbinger of misfortune. It's undoubtedly your fault for attracting those unsavory characters outside, which has led to my predicament. I retorted with a cold smirk. Haven't you always claimed to be more beautiful than I? Then how could it not be you who provoked them? Sheng Lanlan was momentarily taken aback, stunned by my unexpected retort. Her anger intensified, and the vulgarity of her words escalated dramatically. I found myself with a throbbing headache, unwilling to squander my energy arguing with her, so I simply closed my eyes and drifted into slumber. After what felt like half an hour, we were transported by the kidnappers to a warehouse. The kidnapper made calls to two individuals, my brother and my childhood friend, Chen Feng. Oh, dear. Both are individuals with whom I share a close bond. Surely they would prioritize my rescue. 2. It was I who had forgotten. Sheng Lanlan is indeed the heroine. The slap of reality came swiftly as the kidnappers compelled my brother and Chen Feng to choose between each other. To my astonishment, they both hesitated not for a moment and simultaneously selected Sheng Lanlan. Chen Feng even offered an explanation. Xiaoli, I'm sorry, but I love Lanlan deeply. She is the one I wish to share my life with, and I cannot bear to lose her. As for my brother, he deliberately averted his gaze from my furious glare. A mere pawn, he disregarded his own sister's fate in a bid to vie for the heroine's affection. Meanwhile, Sheng Lanlan cast a triumphant glance in my direction, her voice laced with provocation. Apologies, I didn't anticipate that they would both choose me.
Ha! Choose you they may.
But I am powerless to alter the outcome. At this moment, I am but a lamb awaiting slaughter, unable to accept this fate, yet with no recourse. Despair enveloped me as I closed my eyes, bracing for the inevitable. Yet, just then the kidnapper leaned close to my ear, his voice dripping with malice. Do you feel wronged? The kidnapper continued. Seeing your plight, I can grant you one wish before you meet your end. Such a fortuitous offer ignited a flicker of excitement within me. However, before I could voice my desire, the system suddenly glitched. A line of text appeared above my head. Bind those two men, and let the heroine choose. The others present could not see the words hovering above me, but the kidnapper could. He paused for a moment, then chuckled, offering a rating, 6-3. Unaware that words would manifest above my head, I felt a surge of delight at the kidnapper's apparent understanding of my desires. In the blink of an eye, my brother and Chen Feng found themselves bound. I sat obediently beside the kidnapper, who even offered me a slice of watermelon. Sheng Lanlan berated me for my lack of loyalty, enumerating the kindnesses my brother and Chen Feng had shown me over the years. With each accusation she hurled, for words automatically appeared above my head. None of my business. The kidnapper initially regarded this with surprise, but as he grew accustomed to it, he found amusement. He raised an eyebrow at me. Little girl, would you like to join me?
Ha!
How humorous. Who in their right mind would choose to align with a kidnapper? Yet he is a kidnapper. And I dared not offend him lightly. Just as I prepared to feign a pitiful demeanor, expressing my unworthiness to be with him, another line of text unexpectedly flashed above my head. Get away from me, you foul idiot. Who would want to associate with a criminal? The kidnapper. As I beheld the darkening expression on his face, my heart raced with trepidation. What's wrong with you? The kidnapper ground his teeth. Did you just call me a foul idiot? How could he know what I was thinking? Was he endowed with telepathy? My fear escalated, causing my voice to tremble. Big brother, you are so considerate and kind. How could I possibly call you a foul idiot? I pointed at my brother and Chen Feng, asserting they are the real foul idiots. In light of my rapid retraction, the kidnapper chose not to pursue the matter further. He urged Sheng Lanlan to make her choice quickly, for, when facing me, Sheng Lanlan exuded arrogance. Yet before the malevolent kidnapper, she transformed into a picture of fragility. Moreover, her selfishness was laid bare. Big brother, my relationship with them is merely that of ordinary friends. Their lives or deaths are entirely at your discretion. No need to consult me. The kidnapper retorted. So if I were to kill them both, as long as you survive, that would be acceptable? Sheng Lanlan nodded fervently. In that moment, I witnessed the light in my brother S and Chen Feng's eyes fade. The kidnapper turned to me. Who do you wish for me to eliminate first? Why the need for sequence? Just dispose of them both at once. As this thought settled in my mind, I heard the kidnapper command his subordinates. Take them out together?
Goodness.
He truly understands me. Were he to reconsider, given his handsome appearance and comprehension of my sentiments, I might entertain the idea of a romance with him. The kidnapper, you wish to date me?
5.
Based on my literary experiences, female antagonists seldom meet favorable ends. Yet, the system seemed inexplicably unkind to me, allowing the kidnapper to develop an interest in me. Why would he possess the ability to read my thoughts? It was all so embarrassingly awkward. I immediately launched into a fervent denial. I do not wish to. I dare not. The kidnapper gazed at the words above my head, his smile laden with meaning. I had not noticed before, but now that I examined closely, I saw a shallow dimple appear at the corner of his mouth when he smiled. Oh, a kidnapper with a dimple. How utterly enchanting.
Yet.
I remained resolute. I could not be swayed by such trivial charm. Big brother, I truly do not dare to contemplate a relationship with you. Please do not misunderstand. The kidnapper cleared his throat lightly. Do not call me big brother. It sounds unpleasant. Call me brother. Call me brother, let me hear you. He was rather insistent. Yet, I remained silent. Subsequently, the kidnapper took me outside. Upon seeing the ocean, I immediately suspected he intended to toss me into the water to feed the sharks. Cursed villain. He had promised to grant me a wish, and I had yet to witness my brother and Chen Feng's regretful tears. When would this wretched fate change? Why must I always be the most unfortunate one? My once steadfast resolve crumbled, and I clung to the kidnapper's arm, begging for mercy. Brother, I was wrong. The kidnapper turned, momentarily blinded by the words flashing above my head. If I do not die today, I will definitely report you to the authorities. Once you are incarcerated, I shall celebrate with firecrackers. The kidnapper. 6. I was not thrown into the sea to be fed to the fish. Instead, I learned the true nature of my abduction. It turned out that this entire kidnapping was orchestrated by my parents. I almost forgot, my parents are alive and harbor no preference for sons over daughters. They arranged this elaborate charade to reveal the true colors of Chen Feng and to illuminate for Song Yan the nature of Sheng Lanlan. For Song Yan's choice to save Sheng Lanlan over his own sister in a moment of crisis, my parents rewarded him with a thorough beating. At that moment, Song Yan was utterly heartbroken by Sheng Lanlan. He had lost all attachment to this world. As he endured the blows, he neither flinched nor cried out. Exuding an aura of profound desolation, I gazed at him, and above my head, a line of text appeared. Men who only know love are worthless.
Cough.
The kidnapper abruptly coughed. It seemed as though he was suppressing laughter, pretending to cough instead. Wait. He could no longer be referred to merely as the kidnapper. He was Shun Yuxing, the son of my parents' friends. Familiar with our family, but due to the passage of many years, neither my brother nor I recognized him. Thus, my parents deemed him the most suitable candidate to play the role of the kidnapper. Shun Yuxing was only 2 years my senior, and his portrayal of a kidnapper was quite convincing. Perhaps he was accustomed to petty mischief, making his performance all the more natural. Above my head, the words appeared. This Enlil. Shun Yuxing. 7. In retaliation for the disparaging thoughts I harbored against him, Shun Yuxing reported to my parents that I had confessed to him and wished to pursue a romantic relationship. Upon hearing this, my parents erupted in laughter, slapping their thighs in delight. Shaoli, you finally see the light. Although Chen Feng has grown up alongside you, he fails to appreciate your worth and is utterly unworthy of you. I understand. Chen Feng is indeed unworthy of me, but Yuxing is a fine match. My mother regarded Shen Yuxing with the same eyes one might reserve for an ideal son-in-law. For heaven's sake, I am your daughter. Could you please allow me to finish my sentence? Furthermore, when did I confess to Shen Yuxing? The words reappeared above my head. You scoundrel. Once my parents leave, I will break your legs. Shun Yuxing chuckled softly and turned to my parents, saying, Uncle, Auntie, I would like to take Shaoli out for a meal. To get to know each other better. My parents responded, all right. And then they vanished like a gust of wind. I was left speechless as Shun Yuhang leisurely inquired, where shall we eat? I gazed at him incredulously. Do I look like someone who wants to dine with you? Why not? Shun Yuhang slowly echoed my earlier thoughts. Did you not say that as long as I turned back in time, considering my good looks and understanding of you, you would be willing to date me? How could he know and still say it out loud? My face flushed with embarrassment, feeling as if I might explode. Shen Yuhang said, "Let us go." Clearly, he would not let me off the hook without this meal. At the dining table, I earnestly confessed my mistake. At that time, I was so startled by you that I was a bit out of my mind. I didn't genuinely intend to pursue a relationship with you. Shen Yuhang asked, "Am I not handsome enough?" "Mediocre," I replied. "Is it that I do not understand you well enough?"
E.
Does he possess mind-reading abilities? Why else would he say he understands? It would be best if we did not meet again after today. Otherwise, I would face social embarrassment repeatedly. Suddenly, it dawned on me that he indeed could read my thoughts. Did that mean he knew what I was thinking? I abruptly looked up to find Shen Yuhang smiling, his dimples showing. "So, you enjoy being hypocritical, do you?"
E.
My mind was racing with 1,000 expletives. Just as I was on the verge of losing my composure and preparing to unleash a verbal barrage on Shen Yuhang, I heard Sheng Lanlan's voice from behind. "Xiaoli?" Turning around, I saw her approaching. However, her gaze kept drifting toward Shen Yuhang. She said to me, "Your brother has explained the kidnapping incident to me and apologized. I don't blame your parents. In fact, I owe them my gratitude for helping me see my own heart."
What did you come to understand?
Sheng Lanlan replied, "I neither like your brother nor Chen Feng. I previously refrained from rejecting them clearly for fear of hurting their feelings." With that, Sheng Lanlan turned to Shen Yuhang, deliberately softening her tone. "You must be Mr. Shen?" She extended her hand. "Hello, I am Xiaoli's good friend, Sheng Lanlan." Has she perhaps developed early onset senility? She just called me a jinx, and now she claims to be my good friend? The inner monologue blared. "Who is friends with you? You are just trying to use me to snag a man. Back off." Shen Yuhang remained silent. I could not tell whether it was because Shen Yuhang was exceedingly handsome or because Sheng Lanlan's moral compass was incredibly low. She audaciously told Shen Yuhang in front of me, "Xiaoli is quite nice, but she is naturally a harbinger of misfortune. Anyone who associates with her will not have good fortune." The implication was that if Shen Yuhang had any sense, he would never choose me. It was laughable. It was I who did not want to date Shen Yuhang. Was she truly oblivious to the situation? Surely. She thought she could bully me without repercussions as she had in the past. I was ready to slam the table and retort, but Shen Yuhang interjected before I could, praising Sheng Lanlan. "Miss Sheng, knowing that Xiaoli is inherently unlucky, you still wish to be good friends with her. Truly, beauty and kindness in one." Sheng Lanlan beamed with delight. "Yes, Xiaoli only has me as her friend." This was absurd. Were they performing a duet to mock me? The inner monologue chimed in. "Just because the tiger does not show its prowess, do not mistake me for a harmless cat." Shen Yuhang could barely contain himself, his dimples reappearing. He shifted the conversation, addressing Sheng Lanlan. "I appreciate Miss Sheng for wanting to be friends with my Xiaoli. She has me now, so you can attend to your own matters." Sheng Lanlan was taken aback, her eyes wide. "Your Xiaoli?" Shen Yuhang nodded. "Indeed. Xiaoli's parents have already approved of our relationship. Tomorrow I will take her to meet my parents." After saying this, he stood up and approached me, taking my hand without hesitation. "Let us go. I will escort you home." Though I had no intention of dating Shen Yuhang, I genuinely thanked him for silencing Sheng Lanlan. So, I decided to play along with this display of affection. "Brother, you are so kind." Shen Yuhang led me past Sheng Lanlan, who looked infuriated. Once outside, I promptly let go of his hand. "That was solely to provoke Sheng Lanlan. I have no feelings for you." Shen Yuhang replied, "But I helped you." I scoffed. "Even without your help, I could have managed." Shen Yuhang countered. "Yet, I have already assisted you." I took a deep breath. "So, what exactly do you want?"
To date.
Is he out of his mind? While I was unaware of any past connection between the original Song Li and him, I had only just arrived and genuinely had no feelings for him. I rolled my eyes, intending to ignore his relentless pursuit. Shen Yuhang then remarked, "If you refuse to agree to be with me, I will inform your parents that you have led me on, and they will not only scold you, but also arrange a blind date for you." At that moment, my expression likely mirrored Sheng Lanlan's from earlier. The inner monologue was ever present, expletives, expletives, expletives. Shen Yuhang remained unfazed. Fortunately, Shen Yuhang was not genuinely pursuing a relationship with me. He was merely pressured by his family to marry and needed me to play along. I was both amused and exasperated. "If you needed my help, you should have just said so instead of all this roundabout nonsense." Shen Yuhang remarked, "Honestly, I just wanted to see what was above your head." He swallowed the rest of his words. Unaware that my thoughts manifested above my head, I asked, "What about above my head?" Shen Yuhang replied, "There is something dirty. Allow me to remove it." He raised his hand and pretended to brush something away. The 15-centimeter height difference, combined with his current posture, created a rather intimate atmosphere. I admit, I am a woman easily swayed by charm. Gazing at the handsome face so close to mine, I shamelessly thought, having such a handsome boyfriend wouldn't be too shabby. The inner dialogue once again betrayed my true feelings. I want to date that brother so much. Shen Yuhang's expression shifted slightly. He slowly withdrew his hand, but his gaze remained fixed above my head. I asked curiously, "What's wrong? Is there still something dirty?" As I raised my hand to check, Shen Yuhang seized my wrist. "Do not move." Shen Yuhang remained silent until the words above my head faded away. He then lowered his gaze to meet mine. He knew I wanted to date him, yet I was unwilling to admit it. What to do? He could only dig a pit and wait for me to jump in, completely unaware of his intentions. The following day, Shen Yuhang first sent me a WeChat message. When he received no reply, he promptly called me. I was still groggy and momentarily forgot that I would be meeting his parents today as his girlfriend. Shen Yuhang sighed on the other end of the line. "Fortunately, I understand you. Otherwise, my parents and I would be waiting until the next lunar year. I'll get up right away." I hastily dressed and rushed downstairs. My parents were also preparing to leave, and upon seeing me in such a hurry, they asked, "What's the matter?" "I need to go out." "Where to?" "We'll drive you." Just as I was about to nod in agreement, the doorbell rang. It was Shen Yuhang. After greeting my parents, he explained his purpose. "Uncle and Annie, I am here to pick up Xiaoli." My parents were somewhat taken aback, exclaiming, "Have you two already begun dating?" Shen Yusheng chuckled softly, his tone gentle. "Not quite. We're still in the process of getting to know each other. Ultimately, it will depend on Xiaoli's feelings." My parents were so moved they were on the verge of tears. It is true that I have always been plagued by misfortune. My family, once affluent, began to decline the moment I was born, with our business deteriorating year after year. My parents' health has also gradually worsened. Fortunately, despite the disdain I faced from others, my parents have always showered me with love. They even moved homes to shield me from negativity. I heard that the Shen family used to be our neighbors. Witnessing someone who respects and cares for me so deeply truly touched them, evoking tears of joy. I initially intended to clarify my relationship with Shen Yusheng, but seeing their emotional state, I silently swallowed my words. Shen Yusheng exchanged a glance with me before taking my hand and leading me outside. Once in the car, I said to him, "After this, please don't seek me out anymore." Shen Yusheng inquired, "Did I cause you trouble?" "No, it's just that I have no intentions of pursuing a romantic relationship," I replied. "Understood," he said, suddenly so accommodating that I found myself disarmed. Upon arriving at his home, I discovered that, aside from me, there was another guest. In the universe of Chen Feng and my brother, Sheng Lanlan is the leading lady, while I am merely the unfortunate supporting character. Yet in Shen Yusheng's world, the leading lady is someone else, and I remain the supporting character. For a fleeting moment, I felt an overwhelming urge to storm out. However, Shen Yusheng's mother abruptly stood and greeted me warmly. "Xiaoli has grown so much. It's been years since we last met. Do you still remember Andy?" I scrutinized the elegant woman before me, attempting to recall. It seemed I had indeed encountered her in my childhood. Shen's mother took my hand and led me to the sofa, inquiring about my parents' health. She spoke softly. "I had planned to visit your parents today, but they mentioned it is their wedding anniversary and wished for a private celebration, so we shall postpone our visit." Today is actually my parents' wedding anniversary? No wonder I saw my mother dressed so exquisitely earlier. Feeling a pang of guilt, Shen Yusheng said, "On our way back, I'll stop at the mall to buy some gifts for you to take home to your parents." How thoughtful of him. However, their ongoing conversation made the stunning young lady beside us feel quite awkward. Finally, she could no longer refrain and interjected, "Hello, I'm Qin Jiao. I grew up with Yusheng. You must be the sister he mentioned?" "Yes, that is correct." "Then you shall be my sister from now on." While others effortlessly assume the role of a maternal figure, I find myself inexplicably thrust into the role of a sister. She surely does not know of my ill-fated nature. Otherwise, she would be avoiding me, not claiming me as a sibling.
Ach, what a jest.
She aspires to be my sister-in-law. I scrutinized Qin Jiao and found her breathtaking, radiating a luminous beauty. If she stood alongside Shen Yusheng, they would undoubtedly form a captivating couple. From her conversation with Shen's mother, I gathered that she has a pleasant temperament and comes from a respectable background. Ah, childhood sweethearts, a match made in heaven. Perhaps I was lost deep in thought, as when Shen's mother offered me juice, I failed to react in time and spilled half of it on my white dress, leaving an unsightly yellow stain. Shen's mother immediately apologized. "I'm so sorry, it was my fault." "No, Auntie, it was my own clumsiness," I replied before rising to head to the restroom to tidy my dress. Just as I was wiping it down, my phone chimed with a message. Sheng Lanlan, unable to swallow her indignation from yesterday, sent me a scathing text. "You disaster magnet, bringing misfortune to everyone you touch. Isn't it enough that you've cursed my brother and Chen Feng for years? Must you now ruin others as well? In this world, all matters can be resolved with 8 words. Not your concern, not my concern." Therefore, I replied to Sheng Lanlan with the first 4 words. "Not your concern." After sending that, I swiftly blocked her. At that moment, Shen Yuxing knocked on the door, asking, "May I come in?" There was nothing inappropriate about my state, so I replied, "Come in." Shen Yuxing handed me a dress, and judging by the size, it seemed to fit me perfectly. "This belongs to my cousin. She left it behind after visiting. Please try it on." I glanced at the dress, and then back at Shen Yuxing. Suddenly, Sheng Lanlan's earlier insults flashed through my mind. Although I had retorted, the experiences of these past years had begun to make me doubt my own status as a disaster magnet. Furthermore, with Shen Yuxing having Chen Jiao as the leading lady while dragging me into the charade, he truly is a scoundrel. After dining at the Shen residence, I took my leave. Although Shen Yuxing's parents appeared to like me, the years of separation left us with little to discuss, making our conversation rather stiff. In contrast, Chen Jiao effortlessly engaged with his parents, discussing a myriad of topics from astronomy to current events. In her presence, I once again felt like the supporting character. It seems that wherever I go, I am destined to play the role of the unfortunate sidekick. Perhaps I should just embrace my existence at home, for the only ones who do not disdain me are my parents. On the way back, Shen Yuxing inquired if I was unhappy. I replied, "Not at all." Internally, I thought, everyone can see I'm unhappy. Why even ask? Shen Yuxing then pulled out a large white rabbit candy, saying, "If you're not happy, have something sweet." What is this? Comforting a child. Yet I do have a fondness for sweets, so I accepted it. However, just as I was about to pop the candy into my mouth, Shen Yuxing's car was rear-ended. With a loud bang, the entire vehicle lurched forward. Shen Yuxing slammed on the brakes, and we were both jerked against our seatbelts. "Goodness!" An exclamation slipped out of my mouth instinctively. Shen Yuxing swiftly turned to check on me. "Are you alright?" I was fine, just a bit jostled. I shook my head at him. Shen Yuxing instructed me to remain seated as he exited to negotiate with the other driver. I lowered the window and overheard the other driver blaming Shen Yuxing for being slow and causing the accident. Shen Yuxing, displaying commendable composure, did not lose his temper despite the other party's unreasonable accusations. He merely stated that the police would determine fault when they arrived. Having recently reunited, he likely knew nothing of my past misadventures. Otherwise, he might have reacted like Chen Feng and my brother, immediately blaming me for being the disaster magnet that brings misfortune to those around me. After about half an hour, the minor incident was resolved. When Shen Yuxing returned to the car and was about to speak, he noticed the words hovering above my head, "I am a disaster magnet." Shen Yuxing. Seeing the exasperation on his face, I surmised he had once again tapped into my thoughts. That was quite all right. I would inform him. "Shen Yuxing, you should keep your distance from me." Upon arriving at my doorstep, I turned to open the car door when Shen Yuxing suddenly called out to me, "Xiaoli, is there something else?" I asked, "Why do you want me to keep my distance?" "Haven't I already told you? I am not looking for a romantic relationship at this time." Shen Yuxing's gaze sharpened, fixing me with an intense stare. "Is it that you have no intention? Or that you are afraid?" Afraid. Back in high school, I had a crush on a boy in my class. I confessed to him one day, only for him to be struck by a car the very next day. In college, the student council president pursued me, and during a phone call, he was struck by lightning. Countless peculiar incidents abound, and anyone who hears them would inevitably deem me a harbinger of misfortune. Shen Yuxing, undeterred by the specter of death, insisted on drawing closer to me, despite my attempts to keep him at bay. "I dare not concern myself with your doubts," he asserted. "Xiaoli." Shen Yuxing suddenly grasped my arm, his handsome visage magnified before my eyes. He continued, "Like your parents, I have never believed you to be a jinx. Moreover, a fortune teller has proclaimed that I bring good luck. If you were to accompany me, we might balance our fates and achieve a semblance of peace." If the fortune teller were aware that he intended to leverage his good fortune to counteract my ill luck, they would undoubtedly rebuke him as a lunatic. I fled. After Shen Yuxing had tenderly embraced me and delivered such a lengthy discourse, I made my escape. Yet, I underestimated his resolve and tenacity. He reached out to me daily. And when work permitted, he would visit my home. Initially, I evaded him, but under the gentle persuasion of my parents, I eventually dined with him on several occasions. I confess, he is indeed a wonderful and warm-hearted person. Yet the better he is, the less he deserves someone like me. Later, Chen Feng sought me out, inquiring about my recent well-being. I responded with a blank expression, quite well. Shaoli, I was a cad before. Is it too late for me to turn back now?
What?
This plot twist was unexpected. In his narrative, Sheng Lanlan was the heroine. His sudden confession to me, the side character, was baffling. At that moment, Song Yan appeared, seizing my arm and directing a tirade at Chen Feng. Get lost. Stay away from my sister. Do not show your face before us again. Chen Feng's expression turned awkward upon seeing my brother, and he swiftly departed. I was left in bewilderment. Song Yan turned to explain. He learned from me that our parents drafted a will, leaving most of their assets to you. He intends to deceive you. Furious, I retorted. Why didn't you just beat him up then? Forget it, Song Yan replied, a hint of melancholy in his voice. After all these years of friendship, I can only blame myself for misjudging him. All right, acknowledging one's mistakes still reflects well on him. However, I found it odd that my parents' decision to bequeath their wealth to me did not incite any anger in Song Yan. Noticing my puzzled gaze, he averted his eyes. Our parents spoke to me. I believe they are right. I have been brainwashed by Chen Feng over the years, leading me to think you were a jinx.
And now?
Song Yan haughtily scoffed. My sister could never be a jinx. I see, I smirked. Then accompany me on a shopping trip. Song Yan replied. I have urgent matters to attend to. Farewell. His words were one thing, but his actions betrayed him. That evening, I approached my parents to inquire about the will. My mother remarked, there is nothing wrong with establishing it early. When we grow old and forgetful, it may no longer reflect our true intentions. Is my brother not upset? What right does he have to be angry? My mother chuckled lightly. Everything in this household was earned through the hard work of your father and me. We will give it to whomever we choose. My father added, you need not worry about this matter. Everything has been settled with your brother. Though they framed their words beautifully, I sensed something amiss. As I exited their room, I encountered Song Yan descending the stairs to fetch water. After a moment's hesitation, he said, actually, before we moved, I sensed that Yuxing had an unusual gaze towards you. Our relocation was also prompted by concerns of early romance. It was all for my protection. I nestled into my mother's embrace and pouted. You should have let me date early. Who knows? You might have been a grandmother by now. My mother replied, Yuxing has not forgotten you over the years. When he heard you had another suitor, he lost his composure in front of your father and me. He cried. Haha, my mother laughed heartily, not quite, but he was undeniably despondent, a loss evident to all. I joined her laughter. Shaoli, my mother gently caressed my face, patiently advising, why not give Yuxing a chance? Do not fear, no matter what happens. You have your father and me. The memories of being hit by a car in high school and struck by lightning in college haunted me. What if? It will not happen, my mother assured, her eyes filled with affection. Our Shaoli is not a jinx. I cannot tell if it was my changing perspective or if Shen Yuxing truly countered my ill-fated nature. After my parents' encouragement, I cautiously resumed my interactions with him, and indeed, nothing unfortunate transpired. The only source of my frustration was the barrage of comments above my head, which would sporadically emerge. Previously, I had believed Shen Yuxing possessed some form of telepathy. It was not until one day, when I discovered he was intently gazing at the space above my head, that he finally confessed, there are comments appearing above you. How absurd! How could such a thing exist in this world? So you frequently see a line of text hovering above me? Shen Yuxing nodded. Initially, I witnessed you suggesting I tie up your brother and Chen Feng, and later, I saw you express a desire to date me. Stop right there. I was mortified and turned to flee.
Xiaoli, Shen Yuxing suddenly embraced me.
Leaning close to my ear, his magnetic voice enticing me. Tell me, what are you thinking now? Oh dear, he was employing his charms. Though I feigned resistance. The comments above my head were slapping me in the face. Want to kiss, brother? Shen Yuxing replied, if you wish to kiss, then kiss. My romantic journey with Shen Yuxing unfolded with remarkable ease and joy. Occasionally, when I threw a tantrum and spoke insincerely, the comments above my head would swiftly contradict me. At times, Shen Yuxing would forgo questioning me entirely, simply gazing at the words above my head. Once he grasped my thoughts, his actions aligned perfectly with my desires. Of course, he was also quick to discern any ill intentions I harbored. For instance, one day while we were shopping at the supermarket, I realized we were out of certain supplies. The store was having a sale, and I wanted to buy extra, but hesitated to carry too much myself, hoping Shen Yuxing would assist me. With so many people around, I frequently signaled him with my eyes. Whether he was genuinely oblivious or feigning ignorance, he simply did not understand my hints. Frustrated, I lowered my voice and urged, "You should grab more of that." "Which one?" Shen Yuhang inquired. "That one." He fixed his gaze upon the crown of my head. The barrage of comments read, "Are you a pig? Use the condom, condom, condom." Had it not been for the charming dimple that reappeared at the corner of Shen Yuhang's lips, I would have remained oblivious to the words hovering above me. I hurriedly raised my hand in a futile attempt to swat away the offending text. Shen Yuhang grasped my hand, a mischievous smile playing on his face. "Shaoli, just tell me what you're thinking directly. It's quite refreshing." The text above my head proclaimed, "Good for you. Tonight, you shall sleep in the study." Shen Yuhang added several boxes of condoms to the shopping cart and remarked, "Is it really fair to banish me to the study after I've just purchased these?" In terms of audacity, I could never rival him. Later, Shen Yuhang elucidated the situation regarding Chen Jiajiao. In truth, she had intruded uninvited that day. His upbringing prevented him from hastily ejecting her, and he was curious to observe my reaction. When he perceived my disappointment, believing Chen Jiajiao to be the leading lady in his life, he felt a surge of joy. At that moment, however, my mindset had yet to evolve. All I desired was to retreat home and wallow in my discontent, utterly unaware that I had unwittingly stepped into a trap he had set. On the day of the Mid-Autumn Festival, Shen Yuhang orchestrated a dinner gathering for both our families. During the meal, I excused myself to use the restroom, and upon my return, I overheard a conversation between our mothers. "Those rumors are utterly absurd. We have never believed that Shaoli is inherently unlucky. Do you recall that night when our house caught fire? It was Shaoli who awoke in the middle of the night to use the restroom and, upon seeing the blaze, raised the alarm just in time to save us." My mother nodded in agreement. Indeed, when his father was unwell and unable to secure a hospital appointment, it was Shaoli who offered a lollipop to a child, and the child's parents graciously relinquished their spot for us. I must admit, many of these small incidents had faded from my memory, yet my parents held them dear. The kindness shown to me by others remained etched in their hearts. I was not a mere unfortunate soul. I was the beloved treasure of them all. Shen Yuhang lifted his gaze and noticed me standing at the doorway, a line of text floating above my head. "I am everyone's little treasure." He beckoned me over, and once I settled beside him, he leaned in and whispered, "Shaoli is the cherished darling of us all."